I don't know, man. I hope so. Uh, but anyways, man, what's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 21 uh, of the episode, and we got some hot mics today. A couple of topics. My name is CV Tech One. That's the brother Geo right there, and feels like we've been missing in action for like a month. Every time we take a few days or even a week off, it actually feels more than like a week. It feels like it's about a month when we don't pod, and
Yeah, it was
hopefully
about two
nobody's
weeks,
upset. So
but it feels like more. You know what I mean? Yeah,
it does. It always feels like it's more, man. So in the absence of 2 weeks, Jill, man, how you been? How you feeling, man?
I've been
How's
pretty
everything
good.
going?
Um, it's kind of the same old, but I don't want to call it the old because it's being home. You know, trying to be healthy, support the people that I'm supporting, my family, of course. Um, and then just kind of taking it easy for a little bit before I take on to the next step, whatever that is. You know what I mean? But I take it day by day. You know what I mean? I take care of my health, take care of myself, and I keep in touch with the people that you know what I mean that I need to keep in touch with as much as I can think of. That's what I've been doing the last month. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
And
agree, man.
gaming. Wait, hold on, real quick. And gaming. I want to throw that out there. You know what I'm
I was
saying?
gonna say you supporting a lot of that Madden, so
Yo, Madden is good this year. 2K is good this year. FIFA's pretty decent. I haven't purchased it, but I played the beta. So the video game scene for sports is pretty good right now. So I'm doing that too. You know what I mean?
listen, man. I don't want to sound like I'm a stalker, but every time I'm on the PC, man, I get a notification that you're on 2K. It seemed like the last 3 days, man. You've been on 2K, 2K. What was
2K
it the
more
other
than
day?
2K more than Madden because I had a bye week and then I had a computer game. So we don't play the computer game unless you want to, right? So I had
Ah,
my first 7 weeks in the Madden league that I run. Um, it was a gauntlet of 7 players, and like 6 of them were like really good, and the other one was a new player. So, but then after that, week 8 was my computer game, and week 9 was a bye. So I haven't been on Madden. I've been on 2K, but also more recently too is I haven't really been playing like that. Like I go online, but I'm not on. Like I'm not in front of the. You know what I mean? I'm just on, and I go do something, then I forget, or I get caught up doing something else because I have time.
ah.
So it's on, but I just won't be on. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it said you were on 2K for like at least good 3 to 4 hours. I was
Yeah,
like,
if
oh,
it doesn't,
he's
if
playing
it
it.
shows like quarter one and the points are on there, if you see stats, I'm probably playing. But if you don't, if it says like in the city or something, I'm not playing.
Yeah,
But
it said you had 1.1 rebound. I was like, good lord.
I'm a power forward, man. I get more. I average like 7.8, so it's not bad.
No, but it said 1.1 rebound for a while. I was like, okay, he must be paused.
Oh yeah,
This is
yeah. If I pause it, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's what's happened for
I was
sure.
like,
See,
that's way too long to have 1 point.
what about you, man? Like what you've been doing? Because you've been, you know,
Man,
busy.
I've been I tell you, man, I've been coughing my butt off, trying to figure that out. I've done all kinds of tests. You know how it is, man. You cough, somebody got to get tested. I don't care who you are. Who
especially
coughed?
especially nowadays. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
somebody is getting tested.
Just
So yeah, I've just been, kind of like I don't want to say struggling, but just kind of like, energy was low, and I'm trying to, find that energy to even work out and cook and do my normal stuff, man. And I just can't figure out what it was, man. But all right, I feel better today, and there's a reason why we're here. So I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I just think I need to drink a little bit more, meditate more, center my energy more, and I
oh,
just got to get back on it.
you
You
speaking
know,
the language, and on top of that, we got the red vibe going on today too. So like that's the root chakra,
got to
and
start from the
that help.
roots, right?
Yep, if you got to reset, you got to recalibrate. The red and the root chakra will do it for you. You know what I mean?
Hey, maybe that's what's working, man. That's why I'm feeling good, man. Just yeah, man,
Back
just
to
trying to get
basics.
back on the scene again. That's all. You know what I mean? Get that energy back and doing the little things. Like I said, even cooking, like the little things makes me feel good. You know what I'm saying? So and and actually just looking at a calendar. I don't know if other people feel this way, but me looking at a goddamn calendar and just adding things to it, it makes me feel good, man. Like
Yeah,
it's like, hey, this day you got this, and this. There's no
yeah.
stalling. So For me, I don't know. I like that, man, but I haven't looked at a calendar in like 4
It's
days, man. I was like,
it's a good point that you make, right? And from my perspective is this, right? So like, being like not working right now and just doing me and this, like I was used to looking at calendars all the time, whether it's in front of me on my desk. I have a calendar here, but I don't look at that often. But something as simple as what you just brought up on the calendar, right? Looking at it and going, okay, I'm here. Today's the 7th of October, right? Oh, the 1st was a week ago. So it kind of like gives you a place of where you at, right? Because if you never look at a client calendar, you never say for a good example, you don't look at the time. Time passes and 3 hours of like, but if you're looking at the time, you get a sense of time. If you look at a calendar, you get a sense of time, and it gives you a sense of purpose. Now, like you said, you're adding things and then you're checking things off. You want to be productive. Just something as simple. You always say, write things down, right? Because there's more to it. When you're physically writing it in, you're giving more attention to it. You're giving more value to it, right? So those are all
yeah. I do it twice. I write it down and then I put on the calendar so that way the phone will alert me, hours ahead and stuff like that. But yeah, I do think just the action, writing it down and doing all that stuff. I think it's good, man, because like, you talk about see what I'm saying? It's just here. It's always in front of me. And
I got mine right here.
pick a pen. Pick a pen. Like
I
you know
got
what I mean? So I'm always ready to write things down, man. So that way it's good to just look at it. I come to my desk, look at it. I pass by my desk to go to the kitchen. Oh, okay. No excuse not to call that person really quick and give them a quote. Oh, all right. Let me check the pricing on that. There's no excuse. It's there for a reason. So, yeah, man. I'm just trying to get back into my groove, man. And I think
those are two pretty good nuggets. You know what I mean? Like take notes and have a calendar. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, just having a plan when it comes to anything, whether that plan is for today or for tomorrow, but having a plan. Oh my God.
The plan, you plan to fail.
Yeah, because if you wait till tomorrow to take notes and write these things down when you're just here doing nothing now, why not plan it for tomorrow? Like if something goes wrong, that's cool. You can't control it, but you're sitting here doing nothing. Write it down as many times as you can to program it into your psyche. You know what I'm saying? So, man, as long as you got a plan, you got a chance.
On that note, too, like they say, when you write things down, you have a better chance of remembering it, right? So if you repeat it in your head 3 times, but if you write it down, you've taken the intention to do it and put it on paper, you remember it better. You know what I mean?
I agree, man. I agree. Yo, really quick, just because we started a little bit late, so we could definitely do on this day in history. Nothing crazy. I just wrote down a couple things. Like today is Putin's birthday. Now, I'm not wishing him a happy birthday, especially with all this threats people are getting.
All this Putin around he's doing.
Yo, man, what do you think this man is doing celebrating his birthday? Like what does a guy like that do to celebrate?
Think he's celebrating. There's nothing to celebrate right now. He's getting his butt. Think about it. Russia is a powerhouse. Like every country is kind of. It's like that bully in school, right? There's an old movie. It's called 3 O'Clock High from like 1985, and it was like a nerdy guy is the main character. He touches this like big crazy psychopath student that's like 24 years old or whatever. He's old as hell in the school. It's an old thing. I don't mean to hijack, but like the point of it was the whole day he's trying to get out of like, because he said 3 o'clock high, you and me, we're going to fight. And it's an old movie and it's great, right? And so he's trying to find ways to get out of this fight because this guy's a psychopath. He even pays another, like a jock to fight him. And he breaks the jock's finger and breaks his nose in one punch. And he's like, if the quarterback, the high school quarterback can't beat him, I have no chance. Right. So that is Putin, right? And the nerdy guy is the Ukraine. And just like the movie, and then it was an old movie in the 80s, the nerdy guy ends up winning the fight. Spoiler alert, too late, sorry. But
I
but
mean,
that's what's happening.
you said 84.
So
Like it's been spoiled.
yeah,
Like
it's but I'm just trying to be nice,
you don't think he's blowing a candle today? Like just
he's blowing. No. What he's trying to do is trying to find his 300,000 volunteer draft Dodgers that don't. Nobody wants to support his thing, man. His war. They're
yeah.
escaping.
Yeah, but he is making some threats, man. I know the U.S. came out today, was just like, "Hey, man, we're on high alert," type of thing. But when I said blow up candles, I almost said a bad joke. We're gonna move on.
Yeah,
But
let's.
don't leave it alone. Okay,
Yeah.
listen, I'm not wishing him a happy birthday. It's just it's the guy's birthday. It was on the timeline, so I'll say that. Another guy's birthday, somebody that I've heard before, but I don't know too much about him, and I'm actually reading this little book on him, which is cool. Desmond Tutu, who in 1984 won a Nobel Peace Prize award, and also from what I'm reading about this guy, he was born in what's called a silent generation. I've never heard of silent generation. We hear boomers, Gen Z, Gen X, Gen PBS.
That's why you don't hear about it.
Listen, man, that was actually funny.
But
the funny thing is, though, the silent generation is the outspoken generation. Like they were like rebels. They were against this, and they were about humanity and speaking about humanity. And
yeah, that's what 60s, right?
No, it's even earlier. So they said 1920s to 40s. So 1920s.
Before. Right. I thought that was the greatest. Right. Well, maybe we might be. So maybe. I think what it is. I don't know if this is us just trying to figure it out top of our head. I think from like the early 1900s to 1920s or so is like the greatest generation, World War I. Then you have the silent generation during the Depression, and then you have the boomers after World War II. If we're right.
Actually, that's what I'm reading about. It was around that time with the great.
That's why it was silent too. Motherfuckers starving. You ain't gonna talk.
Yeah, you're so stupid, man.
So bad.
You're stupid. Yeah, I'm just reading about that, man, and it was kind of funny because I have the book, and today's is Desmond Tutu's birthday, man. So happy birthday to Desmond Tutu. I think he passed away in 2020. I think. I'm not sure. I'm still reading the book, but I could have sworn I heard that on the news before. I just didn't know who the guy was.
It seemed like he lived a long life. But since we're on the topic of that, I got a quick question for you. Quick hot mic, just out of the pocket, right?
Yes, sir.
So I got a question for you, right? So, we're all young, obviously, at a certain age, right? But there comes a point where you think about like what your future is going to be like, what it's going to look like. So say you're like 18, 19, that's around the time, right? 17, 18, 19. Like what did you think about, or what did you think you would be like now? Like when you were 17, 18, how did you think your 40 was going to be like? And what, you know what I mean? Give me a quick idea what you thought, or is it close to it? Is it really different? Just to get a quick, it could be any topic, because I know it's a very, broad question.
No, that's a good question. I honestly, I never thought about how I would be, let's say, mentally, or how I would see the way I see things now. The only thing I can say is when I was 18 and vision myself at 40, it was more possessional things, like things that you can just buy, like, live in that big house with the crazy pool, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
Yeah, the financial stability and having stuff, because when you're 17, you ain't got no money.
Well, yeah, and that's all you're thinking about is that, and you're like, bunch of parties and all that, and it is so the opposite, because it's like the older I got, the more mature I got, and the more real you get, because when you're 18, it's, you could say it's fantasy at some point, right?
Yeah, it's a dream. It's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But fantasy, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not, at that age, you're like, you're just fantasizing of what it would be like, right?
Yeah, because you don't know how you would feel really as you get older, let's say 30 to 40, because it's just like mentally, you don't know where you're going to be, how you see things. It's, so yeah, when it comes to like, yo, I'm going to live lavish and do this and do that. And guess what? I'll say that my pockets is good, and I'm not doing it. And can I? Yes, I can. And I'm not doing it. So it's kind of weird, but I think it's the mind state is different though than an 18-year-old. You see what I'm saying? So the 18-year-old is like, yo, let's go party, trips and, clubs. Man, you asked me to go to a club. I'm like, dude, are you crazy? What am I going to do in the club? I might go to a bar, but like, am I going to a club? Not really. But the 18-year-old me is like, I'm going to be in there just. So like the material stuff, when you're 18, I visioned it, but I also visioned me also being a professional soccer player too. By the time I'm 40, I'll be retired. So I'm living it, so that didn't happen. I mean,
I could have had,
just don't go your way.
You're telling me I could have been like in Italy, just being like, no, my brother is number 20 for, whatever team. And I could have been Patrick Mahomes' brother before Patrick Mahomes' brother was his brother. Man,
even uglier.
I'd have been champagning everybody.
We would have been like this, Bella, But hey, man, life just said no. Sorry, 18-year-old fantasy guy. Yeah, real life happens sometimes, and you know what? You just gotta adjust. And guess what, though? It's not a bad thing either, man. It's not a bad thing either. So, but man, yeah, I'm happy. Shit, I'm here having a conversation with you. I love it. So, yeah, it's not a $1 million house or anything, but even if I did have it, I don't see myself doing it though. I just don't. Like, I don't see myself in a club just because I got it. It's not in me because when you get older, you do see things differently, man. You experience a lot in life. You do see it differently. So you mature. And it's just not that way, especially if you got family too. It's a little bit different. Because when you're 18, you're probably like, yo, I'm single. Or even if you do have a girlfriend, you're like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Once you got a family going, it's like, nah, I don't really want to party.
Here's my thing. All right. My thoughts of it too, on my end of it is, I remember thinking, man, what is it going to be like to be old? I was like, I probably won't. 33 is my cap. You know what I mean? Not like wanting that, but like that's just how I thought. Like at 17, 18, I was like, man, 30 is old. Jesus died at 33. That's good enough.
Damn.
I remember something like that. But then like as 33 started to approach, I was like, time out. Let's extend that, because 33 doesn't feel like 33 as I thought it was when I was 17. I thought 33 was going to be like, yeah, damn, you 40? Oh, Lord, you're old. Like young kids will tell me that. I'm like, I'll jack you up.
Yeah.
Try me. 40's not old. Like 40-year-olds know. You still feel young. You still. Go ahead.
Let me tell you this. It's funny when people say that, and I've heard people say that a lot, like 40 is old. And you know how, and I always tell people this, if you think 40 is old, think about someone in your life that passed away at the age of 40. I guarantee you won't think it's old.
Right.
And I have always looked at it that way. Like, think about it that way. You'd be like, oh my God, that person died young. You see what I'm saying?
Look at it from this perspective too. When you see someone that's 80, if you have like your grandmother or whatever that's in your household, that's about 79, 80, that's double 40. Double.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So like you spend the first 20 years of your life as an adolescent, the next 20 years as an adult, right? And then the next 20, which is now we're at 40 to 60, right? That's older to elderly. Like you don't get to elderly until like 65 is elderly, because that's retirement, right? So before like between 55 and 60, you're a little older, but from 40 to 55, you still got 15 good more years to work hard, do things, and you'll still jack up a 20-year-old at 48 if you doing your shit right.
Yeah. And when you say 15 years is a long time, and you could do a lot of 15 years. Don't be fooled by that, because some people may go, oh, next year I'm going to do this, because people like to say next year, right? And then it comes around so quick. But even a year, bro, there's a lot you can do. So,
Absolutely.
don't let that 15 just go by and just go, yeah, it's 15 years.
You can get a degree in 4 years. You can get a doctorate in 7 years. So you're saying in 15 years, that's 2 doctorates if that's what you're doing. So it's just a
Yeah.
mindset. It's a
Yeah.
mindset. You know what I
But
mean?
there's a lot you can do. There's a lot you can do, man.
Mhm.
Nah, yeah, man. That's a good question, Joe. Because yeah, we all. I mean, I think everybody thinks about, especially when they're 15, like, oh man, I can't wait. But
Oh, you
yeah,
can't.
sometimes things change, man. You just got to learn how to maneuver and push forward, man. That's all you can do. So,
Mhm.
sometimes not everything's gonna go
But
your way.
the point of that question is to kind of just show you, man. It's like anyone who's younger who's looking at it, man. I remember,
Yeah.
1999, Prince party like it's 1999. Then you had Y2K, right? And
Yeah.
I just remember going, man. I remember in 1997, it was like, man, 2000's coming. It's gonna be 2000. And I just remember 2020 because we used to watch the late night 2020. I remember seeing like the year 2020. I'll be like 40. You know what I mean? And then 2020 is behind us. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like people don't realize, at least from my perspective, is the first couple of years of your life is so different every year, especially when you go to school, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade. It's all different. New people, new routines. So it's so different. But guess what happens when you graduate high school? That routine changes. You go to a
Hmm.
job, if you're lucky, or not lucky, or whatever. If your routine is continue to go to college, you get 4 more years of that change, right? So it
Right.
feels normal. But if you quit high school or finish high school and then you go into the workforce, now it changes. It's that for most people, it's the same traffic, same work, same cubicle until you get tired of it, or you do it for 25, 35, 45 years and then retire. And I don't want to make it seem sad like that, but that's the old school way. The new generation
Mm.
kids are doing it different. But it's a perspective thing to be like how it was and how you think it was going to be at one age into how it turned out to be is very interesting. And I think every young person should ask their parents the detailed questions of like how their life was, and it'd be interesting conversations to be had. You
I
know?
hope kids actually ask that. I know my kid does. Sometimes be like, dude, come on, man. You don't be asking me this stuff right now, man. You know what I'm saying? But I hope actually kids do ask parents stuff like that, like adult conversations, man.
Yeah.
Uh, I had a cousin ask me, he's like, "Hey, when did you get old? Like, when did you become an adult?" I was like, I said in a funny way, but I was like, look, you're 16 right now. Enjoy it. Enjoy every little piece of it because as soon as you get your first bill, your life just started. He's like,
Yeah.
what? I was like, soon
Yeah.
as you got to come out of your pocket,
Yeah.
man. And if your parent goes, well, you can handle that. Well, let's see if you can handle two more. Now it's all on you. You better be your first. As soon as you get your first bill, I think it starts for you.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
it's
saying.
it's when you're required to rely on yourself, right, and be
Yeah.
self-sufficient financially and all this other stuff is when it happens. And I've been seeing like a trend on like social media, like either YouTube Shorts or TikTok or whatever. Like the younger generation, people in their mid 20s, they're just going on
Mhm.
TikTok to just cry, complain, whatever the word you want to use, and they're like, "This is for the birds." You get in I get up. I saw two different examples. The first one is she's like, I get in the car, 30-minute drive. It sucks. Everyone's in a rush, right? To go to work, to a job that they don't like for 8 hours, to turn around and go home, stuck in traffic, to be tired, and then to make money or to just to go home, to go do the same thing, watch the same show, go to bed. All this to make money to turn around and give it back because you have to pay water, pay light, pay for your car, pay for the things you want. And the more wants
Mhm.
you have, the more that money goes away, the harder you have to work. And when they say it's a rat race, here's what it is. And then the other one, and again, for the record, this is the way that this generation plans on handling. I think our generation, like Generation X and even early millennials, they dealt with it differently because their life was
But because I think one of us said it today, but how our generation respond is that's life.
you suck it
Just got
up
to
and you do it.
work.
And it's good and bad. It's good coping skills, but then again, it's not good critical thinking and thinking outside the box and like, oh, my job sucks. Let me go find another job. But again, it's not as easy as that. Back then,
Right.
guess what? You couldn't just go on the computer and just be like, find a job. You have to literally go to that place and be like, I'm looking for a job. You're hiring. Let me fill out the paper. Let me talk to the manager. It's different. So,
Yeah. Some
so my
effort.
and then the other piece of it was a lady who worked at home and she's literally in her bedroom. She's like, I get up, I don't even change. I barely do anything. I get coffee. Sometimes I get water. I roll out of that bed you see in the corner and I sit right here for 8 hours and I cry and whatever. And then when I'm done, I roll right back on the bed and watch Netflix. And she's like, that's what real teleworking looks like. And I was like, and we're thinking, that sounds great.
Yeah.
But again, they're watching their mouse. They're watching screen time. Some people are even calculating how many keystrokes if you're not working, there's no keystrokes.
Yeah. I mean, I even there's apps that tells you, hey, let's stretch. I'm like, I don't need an app to tell me because I'm not gonna spend that much time on the goddamn phone. Hey, you need to stretch now. I'm like, why would I need that?
Here's an example to that. So say you're working on you got an order that you're working on and you're excited about it and it's a big order. You could do that for 4 hours straight. If you ain't got something to give you a heads up alarm, hey, you stretch.
But I'm moving. See, some of these
stretching.
people, these people are so focused because they're usually looking up nonsense anyway, right? It's 4 hours straight of TikTok, just press up, scroll up, or swipe, or whatever. Dude, that's crazy to me. But it is today's generation. And speaking of today's generation, there was a girl, I would say about 6 to 8 months ago. And I wanted to bring it up in the podcast, but we just never did. But the girl took the mother to court because the mother said, I will no longer support you. You're an adult now. You're 20. I think she was 24 years old. She said, what you need to do is get a job, support yourself. And if you get a job, you get health insurance and all that. Bro, she cried and took her mom to court because her mom says she has to get a job and grow up. So she sued the mother for giving birth to her because she didn't choose to be alive and it was the mother's decision. So she sued her for giving birth to her and it wasn't her right.
Did she win?
I don't recall. I didn't do a follow up.
I'm gonna assume she didn't. Go ahead,
bro. Why even bother looking it up? Because it's like, how ridiculous is that to someone to take their parents to court because I didn't ask to be born? You did it, so you got to take care of me.
Nobody was.
What?
No, nobody like manifested themselves into their mother.
You're lucky.
Like, hey, y'all need to do it tonight because I'm ready.
Right. She could have been a mistake for all she knew.
Yeah, she probably was. Most of us are, right? Most of us are. Oops.
But I just thought, but that's today's generation, though. Like the fact that you can take your mother to court for having you without your consent.
It's her mother's fault. The mother should get sued. That's her fault. You know why? She entitled
you put her in
that
state.
child.
Yeah.
You gave her a trophy, and you were mad when everybody got a trophy and her scrub ass didn't. You know what I mean? If you suck, then you don't get one. Simple. But everybody needed one, and Jimmy feels bad. Well, guess what? Jimmy go find something else he can do because just like ants, we all have a job, right? If you're not a protector ant, you're a builder ant. Go build some shit.
Yeah, that's true, man. I didn't feel no sympathy for her. I was like, yo, are you crazy? I was like, and everybody's like, wait, who thinks of this? Like, who wants to take their parents to freaking
somebody
court?
Who's entitled and not educated and just thinks, and you know what? When cases like this just go to court in general, it raises the precedence of garbage, stupid silliness that would muddy up any legal situation. Imagine you have like legitimate stuff like, oh yeah, we got to wait 30 minutes because the case in front of you is a lady taking her mom to court because she refuses to raise herself or to take care of her. Like,
yeah,
are you kidding me?
That is true. But anyways, man, yo, we had a couple of topics. I think we should move on to one of the big topics, just because with timing, and I'm pretty sure everybody has, and if you haven't, you probably just don't have a Netflix account. It's the only reason why you wouldn't. I'm not going to share mine because it's against the law now. Contact me in Discord. So I don't know if everybody has watched Jeffrey Dahmer series. I'm going to say series because to me it's not a doc. There's a big difference between a doc to me versus series. So it is a series because it's a 10 episodes series.
Yeah,
Jill, have you watched it
I did.
beginning to end?
Yes.
Have you thought about what you just watched from beginning to end?
So for me, backstories like my wife is a real big fan of like serial killers, like who did it, like murders, mysteries, right? Those kind of things. She watches Criminal Minds, all that stuff. I'm not really into those things. So the first episode, and I'm very aware, like I know, like John Wayne Gacy and like all the crazy, you know what I mean, Texas Chainsaw guy, like all that. And I know who Dahmer was, and I kind of had an idea what he did. But episode 1 was almost too much to begin with for me.
Right.
Right. Because it's just so dark, and it's just the things that are going on, and like in his mindset as a young kid, like it was dark, man. So, but I didn't make it through. I don't know if there's any particular thing you want to start with and talk about that is, you know, of the utmost for you, but there's a lot. Or if you had a question, I'll answer that too.
We'll get to that just because, well, just like you just gave your, you said you knew about it. And for me, I came to this country in 91. So I was 8.5. So I heard of the name, but I didn't know who this guy really, really was. Right. Later in life, I heard of the name, right? And how bad he was. And I never knew how many people that he actually killed. I didn't know the whole story. And plus, when I came to this country in 91, I didn't even know how to speak a word of English. The only word I knew was hi, bye, and I love you. So that's all I knew. So it took me about till I was like 13 to even feel comfortable with speaking the language. So it probably was on TV, but I had no clue what was going on. I wouldn't understand anything. And I was young. You know what I'm saying? I was around 9, 8.5 to 9, 8.5, almost 9 when I got here. So I didn't know anything. So when I started watching it, I had to pause and go, wait, this is the guy that I've heard before, right? And that I had no information on. And so this was like literally new to me. Everything was new. All the information I was finding out, even the arrest, all that stuff. And I didn't even know what he did. I think the only thing I knew was that he killed a bunch of people, he's evil, and he ate people. That's it.
That's kind of the sense. That's the average, right? Anyone who was like not old enough to like really be like paying attention at that time frame. That's the gist. Like he was eating people, he was killing people, and he killed a lot of them.
Here's a question for you, man.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of ways we can attack this thing. A lot of ways. And one way is the way I look at it is like, I ask myself the question, like, how evil was this guy? And I answered that to myself. And there's people looking at it in a totally different angle that I'm just like shocked, but we can get to that. But the way I looked at it is like, how evil was this dude, right? How he committed the crimes and was disgusting to me. Because I think with today's generation, they're so disconnected. It is weird and it's sick. And I'm saying things to kind of get at them really quick, but I don't, because these people, these kids today are weird, man. And like, even my son was, he's 15. He's like, can I watch it? I said, just hold on. You don't really need it. You don't need it. You're 15. You're in high school. You're going to learn about history, about some bad people anyway, but they're not going to be so descriptive, right? They may say he did this, he did that. They changed the way people look at this country, blah, 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 blah. They're not going to get too crazy. I say, dude, you don't need that right now, because when I was coming up, I didn't know about it until now. You certainly don't need it.
You can do without it. Yeah.
You could do without it, because I see where the young people are saying about this guy, especially the women, which is kind of weird. But yeah, this dude to me, listen, people said this guy was lonely. I'm like, how? People actually wanted to go have relations with them, even if it's a
So
one night stand, right? And I don't feel bad for this guy, right? I had to pause a few times, and I go, wait, this is actually a real thing. This is not
this is not
fiction.
fiction. Yeah, this is real. And he was
Yeah,
cooperative. So, and it was like he didn't have no, because like again, if I can jump in a little bit, and it's not a defense on his part, because yeah, that is horrible things that he was doing. You got to look at, you don't know intent, right? But obviously, like he was luring people home,
yeah,
right? And then, but ultimately to kill them. But like when he was saying his intent, like he was drilling holes in his head to make zombies. Why was he doing that? To prevent them from leaving. So if he felt a connection with you, or he felt like he needed you in his life, right? He didn't want you to leave. And the reason that came from was like his childhood, he said. So one, you got automatic. All right, let me back this up a little bit. So it makes a little bit more sense from my perspective. The story tells it as such. Spoilers, as you already know. It's like his mom had mental issues, or issues where she was highly medicated, did ayahuasca, did all these drugs that are probably
mhm,
not good for a growing fetus, right? So that's problem number one, right? Problem number two is maybe he was born a little off, either from the medicine, or some people are just born just different, right? And
right,
some people might have a predisposition or type of personality. If the right stuff happens to them, it can turn them into that way, right? Because
mhm,
two people can grow up in the same household, experience the same things, same trauma, but it affects one positively, and that person turns out to be someone good to everyone else. Like, hey, this happened to me. I want to prevent this. And then you have
mhm,
the other person that it happens, and they do the same thing, right? So everyone's different. So you have that. And then you have his abandonment issues, where his dad was never around. His mom had postpartum depression, right?
yeah,
That's that thing where moms just don't want anything to do with their kids. They just have, and back then when he was a child, when Dahmer was a child, it wasn't diagnosed. Now it is, where
right,
moms just don't want anything to do with the kid. So imagine a kid growing up, he's alienated from his mom. It's the 70s or whatever, and dad, or 60s, and the dad is never home. So he has this abandonment stuff. And when he's 17, when he commits his first murder, they left him alone for 30 days. He was 17, but he's not a normal kid.
yeah. She left him for 3 months at 17, having the
Both
house to himself.
both parents, right? But again,
Right,
just to let you know, he didn't throw any parties, but he used the excuse that, yeah, I threw parties. No, he just is not. He's more sick than he is evil in my mind, right? He
right,
did some evil things, but in his mind, he was doing them because he wanted them to stay, and he didn't know how to like communicate all that. Even again, to push it, because we don't want to talk about it because we can, right? This could be a fucking forever day, pardon my language.
yeah,
But like, I saw it most with one of his victims, the deaf kid, Tory, right? Terry, I don't,
uh,
I
yeah.
think
His
it's
name is Tony Hughes.
Tony. Yeah. Um,
Yeah,
you could see that he was, at least the way that they told in the story, that there was a different connection between that victim versus everybody else. But
right.
I'll digress and move on in case there's a topic that you want to like cover. But
No, no, I think that's a good start, especially with the parent. Yeah, the mother was heavily on drugs, and we don't know what that did to him. Growing up, because I mean, she was chasing aliens, for God's sakes. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And yeah, just leaving the kid at home like that. The father didn't even know until he's like, what is happening? He's like, where's your mom? So
yeah,
both of them were just like clueless at some point of his life, and that doesn't obviously it doesn't help. So at least for that part, I understand. Like I get it. And so do you think when the father was like teaching him how to cut up animals, do you think that contribute to
absolutely. I
the
mean,
killing?
absolutely. And again, they showed in
Yeah.
the movie. The mom said it a couple times, right? And I understand what the dad was doing. The dad was like, think about it. His as when you have kids, at least certain people, you have an idea what your kids are going to be like, right? You think it's going to be
Yeah.
normal. And when your kids come out and they're a little off, I can imagine what he would think about. He's like, my kid's a little weird, right? Because he knows it. So when his kid has an interest in something, when his kid is not only weird, he just shows no interest in nothing, right?
Right.
And then all of a sudden he finds an interest in something. It's a weird thing, But he's like, taxidermy. People do taxidermy. He's
It's
convincing
something.
him. The dad is convincing himself that, oh, maybe this is what he does, right? And then again, a big piece. The dad also had the same mentality, had the same thoughts. So he may have got those genes from his dad.
But that's what I was going to ask you though. What the dad was teaching him though, what if that made him become a scientist, right? Because the dad had those thoughts, but
That's
never
what he was
did it.
thinking. Again, intent. Dad's intent was, oh, my son who doesn't care about anything, shows no emotions for anything, suddenly shows emotion in this one thing. I can help him with that, you know?
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't. I get it, man. I think his upbringing wasn't the greatest. We know that. Now, the weird part about this whole thing to me, man, like I think it's sickening. Where he's like, these dudes actually wanted to sleep with him, and it got to a point where that's not even what he wanted until he killed them and try to, make him look like a zombie or whatever. And I think he has sexual encounters with the body, right?
that's what they're saying,
I thought I
right?
heard that one time, like, after he kills them, he would
he would
do
keep the
things.
bodies. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Here's the thing for me, man. The two things, I think the doc thing versus a series, and I think a documentary is a little bit different, and that's why I was just telling my son, it's like, you can go without it, man. Go.
Yeah.
What game just came out? I'm like, I forgot the game that just came out, part 2. I was like, yeah, go download the game and play, man. You're good. You don't need it right now. Just let it go. I've seen documentaries where they use actual real life, like clips, sound bites, even photos, right? And it's haunting, right? It's usually haunting. And this one, it's a little bit different because a person like me watching it who didn't really know the details of this guy, I had to stop at one point to tell myself that this is actual real thing that happened. Because I got to a point where I was like, oh my God, it's weary, it's dark. This guy's an amazing actor. And then I started to connect with him a little bit because of the upbringing, right?
Right.
And then I was like, wait. Jill, I had to stop myself. That's when I was like, yo, this is scary. How a series versus a doc can push a way for somebody to think about someone. Yeah. And obviously he was the main character, so it was just him constantly. But this guy did such a good job as the actor because I didn't even know what the guy looked like. So to me, as an actor, I'm like, oh, he is this role. He's doing an amazing job as this role, right?
Yeah.
Then that's when I said, wait a second, is this a movie? Because he's killing it right now, or is this an actual real life thing? And I think a lot of people felt that way, but they just kept going. They binge watch it and they actually forget. Yeah, like, hey, this is an actual event. This actually happened. I had to tell myself that. I know maybe some people didn't think of that, but I did, and it was weird for me. So I don't know.
No, you made some good points. So one part of it was you said, what was it? The glorification, right? I think that's what it was. It's like, because it's a docu-series, it's a series versus a documentary on Netflix, which is an entertainment thing, and they have there's a different feel. All that stuff you said, I'm not going to rehash. You're right. So making it into a movie, and the fact that the actor did such a good job, what's his phrase? Did such a good job. It makes you like the character in the way that he does it. But again, this is one of the reasons why he was so successful and got away. Obviously, there's another piece to it too that I want to touch into a little later. But there were a lot of things that helped him become more successful and get away with it the way that he did. Right? His charm is one of it. Even though he's weird, but like, how was he able to get so many men home? One, he was apparently an attractive enough looking man to get other men to want to go home with him. Right? So, and that plus the fact that he was charming and says the few things and just knows how, like, even when he got in trouble, you know how many times like his dad got him off the hook? He was just like, oh, I threw a party. Like the house was a mess. Right. Yeah. Or it was, oh, I was just trying to do this. Like he made it seem like what he was trying to do was not that big of a deal. And it was kind of sincere for the most part, but it's because he was a little off.
Right.
And it allowed him to get away with it. And the other piece to it was also like, it was the 90s, but people today don't realize, like, they showed it in the story. Is it a left wing pull or push to kind of get people to go, oh, look, is another time for us to say racism, right? Because obviously he was targeting, because he was in a minority neighborhood. It wasn't because he was targeting them, because that's what he could afford, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where he went. But the instances with the police where they like the 14-year-old, where like they didn't even care enough to look into and didn't see it as a real situation, and they kind of was like, they were literally, they put it in the story where they were like, why is someone like you living in a place like this,
Mm-hmm.
right? Meaning, why is a white guy that looks clean cut living in a dump where crackheads are living, right? So that you could already show their bias, and then you show the other instances when it happens, and of course in the end, where like throughout the story, the Asian, or the Laotian dad from Southeast Asia, who had both of his boys, almost one killed and one almost killed, right?
Yep.
Which is horrible to have it happen once, but to have it happen twice and then
Right.
murder it's the most sad thing ever. But throughout the story, how like he kept getting crank calls, you know what I mean? And just imagine
From the cops.
And it's from the cops in the end to
From
just
the
show
cops.
you. It's just like, again, that's a left wing spin to show you. But is it true? Is it not true? Or is it something extra that they added? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I mean, the location was real, right? So, like you said, the agenda is the agenda. You can see how you want to see it. You can spin how you want. But the location in that situation was perfect for him. One, like you said, let's say it's a minority neighborhood, poverty. White cops don't want to be around there. They don't care.
Underserved, underprotected.
Yep. Crack is everywhere. The fourth thing is he's going after gay men, and this is a time of AIDS and all that. And these cops are just like, they're afraid to touch anything. The guy wanted to take a shower as soon as he got to his door. And right at the door, this is a man who just killed 17 people and doing craziness. He's just like, he almost didn't even want to go in because of the, oh, you guys are gay. Oh, all he wanted to talk about is like, how gay are you? Is it, they were afraid of the age. So the situation, everything was just kind of, it sounds messed up to say it was a perfect situation for him.
No, you could call it, right? You call it that. It's like a perfect storm. It may not be perfect, but it was like ideal. You know what I mean?
What, the club right down the street, everything.
Yeah.
A gay club on top of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's like, oh my God, this is exactly what I needed. Right. So yeah, I get the whole racist thing. Yeah. I don't even look at it that way. I look at it as like, this dude is killing people. I really didn't give a damn if they were black, white, or purple, bro. He is killing people.
Right.
But
that's your perspective. But again, where he's doing it matters. Who he's doing it to matters. What he looks like matters. All those things matter. But I don't want that to overtake like the conversation, because that's one piece that it came up here and there, and that was a note that I took. I was like, oh, they're doing that. Gotcha. But there's other stuff. Was there anything else that either like was real gory for you, or something that was like, you're like,
no,
really surprising?
There's so much, man. Because to me, you got to understand, Joe, to me, this is new. I'm learning as I go. I really don't know anything about this guy. So, one thing I would say, I've read a couple of stories about, I don't like the fact that I don't say they were humanizing him in the series too much, because the people who binge watch it, I think, look at it differently than I do. And a lot of people that I've seen, they go like, I feel bad for the guy. I mean, it's not a lot of people. There's a few. So I don't want to make it seem like it's 50-50 or anything. But
the way that they told the story in the fashion, like you said earlier, like in a
grab
series
you.
mode, the story's well done, the character's well put together, and all that stuff. Like it makes you, it lightens it up, right? From a documentary, right? So that is a natural human feeling. I don't even
want to say they humanized them, like, because he is, but like at the same time, man, he was doing some hurtful stuff. Like, he was killing people. And listen, man, what he did to that Tony, put it this way, before you get to Tony, like, it is amazing how there were so many chances to this guy get caught and not get caught. Whether the cops just didn't care. And I still think today is like, did they ever visited this whole thing, especially with those cops that didn't give a damn when they
Yeah.
were getting the calls? Because those two cops are the biggest a-holes I've seen.
That's
And I don't
straight.
know if
That's like
they're,
straight police academy tomfoolery stuff.
bro,
You know what I mean?
and the fact that they were celebrated. They
They
were
got awarded at the end.
celebrated.
Mhm.
Like,
The union, but they don't.
this
But
is
again, they don't realize that stuff turns around and it goes and it's a negative thing to everybody. Like you do something bad and you think you're doing good, and they got celebrated, but in reality, it wasn't. And another thing, remember at the end they sort of like they were talking about tearing down the building and building a memorial. They didn't even do that. And they even said on the thing, to this day, there's no memorial. You know what I mean?
wow.
And I understand. It's like you want to memorialize and remember the victims without
Yeah,
glorifying the person, right? But they've already glorified the person because they made the movie. But again, the people who made the movie is different from the people who were in charge of
right.
building that.
I'm
So I get that. But
I'm glad that didn't happen, just because I know how it is today. With these people who look at this dude as a sex symbol now, are probably going to go and show up and do videos and do all kind of
and
stupid ass things
and they
for
were
the
doing that.
internet.
The movie also showed how he was getting fan mail when he was in jail,
Right,
young girls.
comic books.
So it was just as fucked up then as it is now.
I think it would be worse now, like 10 times worse. Like, bro, the
No.
way people are
Well, I
today.
agree, but it was still for that time, for it being so fresh, right? It just happened, and you're already writing them today, as opposed to, oh, he's already dead and he's already gone, blah blah blah, and all that other stuff. Hey, keep talking because I have to check this. I have a technical issue, but go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm
and I
listening.
could definitely tell everybody this, man. This Halloween, I could just see his costume on Amazon. If anybody wants to make money and want to make money using him, I think his costume is gonna outsell anything this year. Pikachu, sorry. Barney, I'm sorry. It's gonna be Jeffrey Dahmer this Halloween. I'm telling you right now. Um, but one thing that I would say though, I do feel bad for the family because I saw a lot of the interviews with the actual family members who were very disappointed that nobody even reached out to the family while they were doing this. Some of the family, I just think, especially one of the scenes in the courtroom, one of the girl was doing a testimony and talking to Jeffrey in the courtroom, and she was like, "Oh, you want to see unstable? You want to see
Yeah,
this is unstable, right?
yeah,
Because
outrage or whatever. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, bro, they did that word for word, step for step, and she said she couldn't look at it. She said nobody told me, and I had to relive this, and it's trauma for our family, and I understand that part. Like that's why I think a documentary would have been different, and this is a little bit more. Now, some people are saying they're just mad because they didn't get paid or whatever. Maybe, but I can't say that to all the families because these are parents who lost kids. We're talking about 14-year-olds. You know what I mean? 17-year-olds, young people. So I can't tell somebody how to feel when they lose a loved one, especially their kid or brother or sister. I
In
can't
that
tell
way,
you how to feel.
right?
I
So
can't.
it's
Yeah. So if I watch it and people are like, "Oh, this guy's amazing," how do you think that's going to make me feel? So I think that part right there, I get it, but it sucks that the family have to witness that because people took this and made it something else. They just made it too. I don't know. They made it in a way. I think
they
it's the people
glorified it,
watching.
is what they
Yeah,
did, right? No, but my
yeah,
thing is this: is the people who are seeing Jeffrey Dahmer as like some kind of hero, sex symbol, anything positive, they are either intellectually, emotionally immature, right? They're not, or they're not right themselves in some kind of way because you just don't. You know what I
yeah,
mean? You don't just look up to him and be like, oh yeah, like this is a guy that I want to have like if you want to pick his brain, that's another whole weird thing, right? If you're like, well, why? You're just curious. That curiosity is different. But like if you're intrigued in a way where you like him in that kind of way, you might want to check yourself.
yeah. I will say this. Listen, I know this is going to sound terrible, but the way they did it, the actor, it was an amazing. If I say it's an amazing storytelling, the way they told the story, and I think being real, being a real. This is based on real life situation. It sucks to say it, but if you remember Tony, that episode was. I just don't like saying it was amazing because the outcome was not. But the way they told Tony's story with no sound, I thought that was I kept turning up the volume. I was like, oh wait, they're telling you this story for Tony, and you don't hear anything because Tony's deaf. I thought that angle was so cool to understand Tony that, bro, if you go on Google right now, you type in Tony Hughes come up because people are so intrigued and people love this guy. Like, the way he communicated with his mother without words, right? The relationship he had with his mom and just the way he goes about living his life and, being rejected, just trying to get a job. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, he was so positive. You know what I mean? And he just didn't give up, just want to keep going. And here's the crazy part. Jeffrey was all about that heartbeat. Like when he hits that heartbeat, that did something to him, right? Now you're talking to a deaf guy who's all about feel, right?
Senses, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's just like I don't like, it's going to sound weird, but it was like a perfect match.
Yeah.
Right? And when he put his ears to hit Tony's chest, and all Tony hears like doom, 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 because that's all even in the club, that's all he's just hearing is just thumps, right? Bro, that part made me so sick, George. Like Gio, I'm telling you. I know it doesn't, like, they didn't show anything nasty, but it's the why and what he was doing, especially knowing what this guy's about. I was like, bro, I'm gonna be real with you. I broke down. I broke down for Tony, man. That episode got me so bad that I looked up Tony. Bro, when I saw Tony's photo, it was exactly what you saw in that movie. It was like that was him. I looked up his real photo, the hat, the glasses, the shirt, the overall, everything, dude. And when I saw that, dude, it hit me even worse. Like, this was an actual real guy who had potential, but what was stopping him? Oh, he's deaf. But it didn't, because he kept going. He's modeling, he's doing all of this stuff, man. And then here's this guy who knows this is a guy planning and knows what he's gonna do to him. My heart just kept breaking, because I'm like, how can you kill this person? Like, you're connecting with this person better than anybody for the first time in your life. This is a person when you love and care, the things that you never got. And it was like something was still going to push him over the edge.
And you know what to add to that too?
Listen,
is that
love didn't stop him, bro.
Yeah. And the thing about it too is Tony liked him too. Really liked him. Like,
that was heartbreaking, man.
That was an extra sad part of that too. Is just like, he saw him, he didn't see the evil. He saw the nice, that the crazy people who know who he is, who still like him, he didn't know who he was, but liked him for who he was, and then he got murdered for it. And that's just that's horrible.
It's a shame that couldn't stop him. But I try to look up the story as far as like, did the mother or the family, how do they feel about this? Because that episode, if you're Tony's like family, how does that don't hit you the way, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're bringing all that back. Oh,
I would think this, if it was me, even if it's 30 years later, I don't know if I'm watching it. You know what I mean?
I don't think I could.
I don't know.
Think I could.
Think about it. Like she said, they're replaying it over and over again. They just to watch it, because in your mind it's like, that these things happen, right? Like, that he went to his apartment, that they were together, and this is how it was. But to just watch the reenactment, and then his body on the bed, his body on the floor, his blood on the bed. When you're watch, I wouldn't be able to. There's no to watch. So remember, you said they casted him right, so that means he looked just like him.
Bro.
I'm not. There's no way.
So Gio, let me put it this way. What if you're watching it, right? That's your brother. You're watching it, and he left, and then he came back because he forgot his keys. Like you're just watching all these details. That is that what happened? What if you
Yeah.
didn't know that? I don't know the details. I don't know if that was
Yeah.
just an add-on, but it's like how many like holding the hammer behind his back, like the amount of chances like this dude wanted to kill him, but he kind of got away. If I'm watching that, bro, that would break my heart. It's like Tony had so many chances to get away, but he forgot the keys, came back, and just never left. Like he actually got away, and
Yeah.
he had to come back for his keys, man. Dude, I don't know, man. So let me ask you a quick question, Gio. I've heard that guy that played Dahmer did a good job in other horror films, right? Like American Horror Story or whatever, and people are saying he is amazing, and his acting on this is crazy. I will say that, right? How come nobody's talking about this guy's mindset, right? Like to get into that character was scary to me because I went back and watched the real Dharma interviews, and I'm like, man, this dude did a great, awesome job, man.
Mm-hmm.
And some people are talking about like the dude who played Joker that passed
Yeah.
away. that passed
Same
away.
kind of thing. Yeah. To get into a madman's mind and become the madman is great.
It's kind
And
of
that's
scary.
and I don't know if that's a good thing if he gets like an Oscar or some kind of award for it because
Yeah,
he's portraying a evil person. But like it is what it is, right? You can't just be. Again, you got to look
think
at the intent. Really isn't to glorify it, right? Because at the end, what I got out of it was more detail on how horrible. Because we heard, oh, he ate some people, he killed some people. Now we know we know the Tonys, right? We know that what the victims went through to a degree to have a little bit more under appreciation, and now it's on us to not sit there and make jokes about it, right? And to
yeah.
not follow. It's on us, and for us to tell people, like when someone's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be Jeffrey Dahmer for Halloween." Like, is that gonna be a thing? Probably, because brown jacket with the big glasses, like it's easy. Blonde hair, it's a wrap.
I don't know if you heard when you walked away for a second. I said that's gonna be the
Oh, he
number
said
one
that?
costume. Yeah, I said
Yeah.
it's gonna be the number one costume on Amazon. I said Pikachu, step aside.
No,
Barney, Elmo, step
it's
aside.
gonna be the Black Little Mermaid.
It's gonna. Yeah, no, I doubt that too, but
Like
it's gonna be
dudes
Jeffrey.
dressed as black mermaids.
That's actually funny, man.
Oh shit.
Hey, Gio, if you watched the mother doing a testimony, man, that's heartbreaking, man. For Tony when he said,
Real
"Hey, poem,"
life one or the
oh
movie?
my god." See, that's why I'm like, they did such a good job, the director, producer, that it's got people talking about this show this way, right? Like with a little bit of anger too, because they did a good job. Like, it was done. It was done amazingly.
Was it too good for an evil man to, is that what it is?
But that's the problem, though, Gio, right? Because when I watched the real testimony of the mother reading that poem for Tony, excuse me, I mean, word for word, step for step, everything, dude. The testimony part, it almost looked like, and I was wondering, why didn't they use the real footage? Dude, if you go and watch the real footage, you'd be like, how did they pull this off?
Mhm.
It is scary. And then the mother doing this while oh my God. I didn't know what to do, man. I broke down. And I want to show you this real quick before we leave, Gio. Let me see if I can share the screen. Bear with me. That's Tony, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, I was like, what? It looks just like the dude, man. And he was into his hip hop and all that stuff, the hat, the glasses, and dude, I was like, oh my goodness, man. So that I don't know, man. That got me. And the way they told Tony's story was just it's weird to say it was amazing just because he was deaf. And I just love the way they made me connect with him with with the no sound type of thing. So I connected with Tony, and I think a lot of people connected with Dahmer not because he's a killer. They found the human side of him. They
Yeah,
saw that
the
in him. So
loneliness, like, oh, I
yeah,
can empathize with why he is the way that
yeah,
he is, and
empathy.
I,
Yep.
yeah, so no, that makes sense, man.
I don't know, man. I just we'll leave it there, guys, because there was a couple other things for us to talk about, but I just thought that this would, take a little bit of time. But hey, man, I would say rest in peace to all the victims, man, and all the families that that went through it. And yeah, that's pretty much all I can say about
Can I
this.
can I add one more thing? Right, as you
Sure,
said,
man.
rest in peace. It reminded me of another piece. How did you feel when he got stabbed in jail?
I didn't see that. I think that's what episode 10, probably.
Yeah, it's near the end. It was like the second to, no, it was 9. I think it was 9. 9. I think
I'm
it was
not.
9.
Yeah, I
Because he
mean,
got
I
stabbed
don't
in the
think.
neck and he didn't die though. That was just first attack.
Okay. Yeah,
And
because
then
I took a break from it because I think
okay,
I
so
needed it.
what you saw episode 10 when the guy finally, because we got to talk about that part, right? How I
Uh,
mean, so the end where the inmate kills him. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? So I wonder how you've already pointed out that like the court scene was immaculately like recreated, right? Obviously because
Right.
it's a video, you saw it, right? I don't know if there's CCTV in the prison, if they saw that, and if like how accurate
Uh,
was that? Because it was very theatrical. The dude was like, I'm the hand of God, I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna be the one to fix it, amen and amen, right? Like,
okay.
so like it was very theatrical. Did he really go out like that? I wonder. But and then how did you feel? Like, did you feel anything? What were you feeling when you watched him? Were you like,
I I didn't
kill him?
see that part yet.
Oh, you didn't finish it?
No, I stopped on 10. Whoa, going on
You
10.
watched
But
9. Yeah, 9 and a
yeah,
half,
so
10. Yeah.
no, but that's fine though. Listen,
You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it.
no, I'm gonna finish it, but like I said, I had to give myself a break because like we all need a little break sometimes. Come on, man,
Yeah.
especially from this. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and celebrate that he died, right? Because I don't want to celebrate anybody's death, right?
Mhm.
But if that's what he had coming, then that's just what it is. I can't control
Yeah.
that, right? But I'm not gonna
Yeah.
celebrate and go, oh my God, right? But if that's what
So
happened to him, that's what happened to him, right?
mhm.
But as far as like how did they know? I don't know if the guy must have just said, hey, I did it. This is what I did. This is how I did it. Maybe that's what it was because I thought about the same thing. Like, how do they know all this stuff that happened? But that was Jeffrey Dahmer telling them the actual
Right.
story. Like,
Yeah.
this is what I
He
did.
he was cooperating, so you know
So,
that. But again, like every other documentary, it's like based on off a true story because there's gonna be things that they have to like fill in that they're gonna like, this is how we think it happened, right?
right.
Versus like this is exactly how it happened without footage.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
but
look, he's sick. He had it coming. I can't celebrate it, but is the outcome correct? Sure.
yeah,
Sure.
I think overall, obviously, I think it was great. Like, I was watching it, 2 or 3 episodes at a time with my wife and binging it, and also watching it at night. And I don't watch a lot of like serial killer, like murdery stuff before I go to sleep. I don't. That's not my
Yeah.
thing. I cannot watch like a action movie, yeah, but I'm not gonna watch like I'm not gonna have serial killer shit floating around in my dreams when I go to bed. You know what I mean? But
Right.
this, they watered it down, they glorified it in a different way. They cinematically engineered it, where
Yeah.
it was better to digest. I can go to sleep after watching 3 episodes, and he just bashed someone's head
Right.
in, right? But in the end, I think overall they did a pretty good job of explaining his side without making it super like he's awesome. They showed these were all facts. He was charismatic, right?
Yeah.
He was a little off. He was weird as a kid, and there were things that happened in his life that helped add to that. So they showed all that, and then they
Right.
did a great job with some of the victims, right? That they showed in showing like, hey, he did some crazy things to some people, right? And how they were regular people. It wasn't just a number. It wasn't just a statistic. It was, that again. We didn't talk a lot about the Laotian kid, but 14 years old, he drills a hole in his head. Just imagine what he's going through coming to out of being drugged and then having 1 or 2 or 3 holes put in his head, drilling holes in his brain.
Yeah.
And he was
That's
able to make it outside and then get escorted back in.
That's brutal, man.
You know, he would
Yeah,
never been the
because
same. You know what I mean? But like,
yeah, I have on the notes. I have a couple of notes. I was like, yo, those cops are just like I would look at every person that they arrested in Milwaukee. They're just not trustworthy. I'm like, every arrest should be looked at like, oh, you got somebody who's been in jail because of this. Who arrested them? These 2 dummies. Cool. Let's look it up. Let's see what happens. And yeah. So I said the cops, those 2 cops, they sucked. And I also said that I had a couple of notes here. I just felt bad for the Asian father, man. Just all that hate after going through 2 kids, one dead, the other one traumatized, and still had to put up with all that hate, man. It's just, it takes a lot, man. Like I don't know what the story is in that with that family, but yeah, that father was going through it, man. You know what I mean? Just dealing with forget the kids, the racism every day, the phone calls, and it's made by the cops. It's like what does he have to do? If something's going on, who do I call? The guy that just prank called me? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Who am I calling?
And he comes to this country for a better life to do all these things, and he's already looked down upon because he speaks a different language and he has to learn that language. He doesn't know what he comes across as. It's horrible, all of it. Yeah. It's a good documentary. I learned from it. I think I got some good things.
It's not a doc. It's a series. Don't call it a doc, please.
Yeah, a series. Yeah, no,
it's a series because no, that's not a doc, man. And guess what? Netflix, being smart as they are, right? You know what they do? Oh, let's do another one of this killer. So they got another one.
Supply demand. The crazies want it. They're gonna make it. Oh, one more thing too.
Oh,
I don't think it was in. I think it was in episode 10, and you may not have seen it, so you should go see it. They show John Wayne Gacy,
the clown.
Did you see that part?
Yeah.
Maybe that was episode 9.
Is that when they were doing like the same thing at the same time? They said what do they call it? The full moon was around when he was getting killed. Then I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, it was when he was getting baptized while John Wayne Gacy was getting killed.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, but just the one scene where they show John Wayne Gacy killing that one kid, like he drugged them the same kind of way. But here's the difference, right? From that I got from this was, Dahmer was always like, I drugged them so they didn't feel anything, right? John Wayne Gacy drugged them, tied them, they came back to and butt naked, and he would do all kinds of things to them while alive. Not only torture, but sexual in nature. And then he was drowning the guy, and he'd be like, it's like, your life belongs to me. Like, that is evil. That is evil. Like,
any death is evil.
No, any murder is evil. Yeah, but like Memphis Bleak says, there's levels to this shit, right?
Yeah.
So just off that one example of John Wayne Gacy, like he drugged the guy and he's like beating him, right? And even like I get it, drilling a hole in someone's head, but his intent is I'm gonna drill it so he's a zombie and I can keep him like a crate. But like chopping your hand off.
This guy's, but then again, Gio, the guy ate people too, though. Like it's.
Yeah, I don't. He wanted them inside him. He's like, "What other way can I keep them in me?"
That's crazy. Evil. No, it's evil. Don't say crazy to me. It's evil.
It's crazy.
It's evil. Because the guy that you said,
why was he eating them because he liked the taste of them? I don't.
No, it's just him having a part of them still around. That's why he kept them.
Yeah, it's gross.
Which is like,
it is.
The guy wanted to go to cemetery and get body because he saw a kid on the newspaper that died, and he didn't even kill that kid. Bro, he's evil.
I know, but it's the same kind of crazy as that guy, like when you lose your mind and you got a trench coat and you go in public and you open up the trench coat and start jacking it off. Like you're crazy because you're not aware. Like it's an impulse. Like I'm just going to go masturbate. Like that's kind of how he was with killing people. And he was like, I just need a body. How can I get a body? They're already dead. I don't have to kill them. and I already like this guy. He's already dead. I can just go get the body. That's how.
Yeah, but he also liked the feel of the organs in his hand. He said
Yeah.
that sound turned him on. It's evil.
Go get putty like crazy kids.
It's true. Yo, bro, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm ready for. Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for the next one, man. I think I just I
They're gonna do
I
John Wayne
need to.
Gacy. They already did John Wayne Gacy, and it was already bad. But if they do it in this kind of way,
No, they can't. No, because listen, man. There's no way this fat ass clown you're gonna make him look attractive and cool and sexy like these But then again, these TikTok freaks, these delusional TikTokers are gonna find a way to find clowns sexy after this. It's gonna be a thing. Red nose, hello. I'm telling you, man. Like I don't know, man. People are just so. TikTok. I'm telling you right now, TikTok is a bad place, man. TikTok is not a good place.
hey, don't get no advice from TikTok. I mentioned a little earlier, like just in parting, right? There was a TikTok thing that I saw, and the guy was saying some awesome things. I was like, man, this guy's an awesome dude. And he's lip reading. It's an original sound from somebody else's quote, but he's copying it, man. Like, what is with TikTok and people these days? Everybody wants to get the most views on copying somebody else and being like, why don't you just get credit for being original and not taking somebody else's audio and lip talking to it? And I'm over here thinking this guy and thinking, oh, I should follow this guy. This guy has some wise things. And I find out it's not even his audio. 100 people have the same audio.
That is sick, bro.
Man.
But that's TikTok for you, man. TikTok is just
nobody's original. Everybody want to copy other people's shit. Do that.
I'm good.
Do something else.
It's almost like, hey, go to TikTok and just be dumb and you'll be rewarded. But there's people who actually think these things are real. Like when the kids go, we're gonna go to school and steal stuff from school. Dude, they were stealing everything from school. And I'm like, this is TikTok for you, man. This is the dark side of TikTok people don't want to talk about.
When they get to school, terrible. There was something with my kids, like they were doing something in the bathroom. They were like letting the water run or something like that, clogging the bath and run or some. And it was like, oh, you see it, right? Until you get caught, right? And then again, this day and age, back in the day, if you got caught in school and your parents got, picked you up or you got suspended, that ass, you weren't sitting properly for a while. Today, it's like, we're taking the video games away. And then tomorrow you get it back. Get out of here.
Right. Dude, they had the what challenge was it? They had slap a teacher challenge.
Oh.
Dude, that is disgusting, man. And the fact that they just like, hey, well, nobody's going to do it. Yeah, and all these kids are getting arrested, 14, 15-year-old getting arrested for slapping a teacher, right? Which is going to be on your goddamn record. And because obviously you're young. You're not thinking about what that's going to do to you later on.
Yeah, they look at the views. They don't look at what happens after you do it.
It is about the views, man. It's sick, man. That's why, like, even me as an adult, I went on TikTok. I looked at one chick, and I didn't look her up. It was just there. I was like, oh. Then I clicked on her. I went to her feed. It was the same thing. It was just her with the tight, and you just see the shape of the vajayjay. Yeah. I was like, okay, I'm a man. Okay, yeah, that's nice. And then I scroll up. Oh, now there's another one. Oh my God, there's another one.
Yeah.
And then you know what they gave me next? Women breastfeeding. I'm like, what? I don't want this stuff.
For old people who are having this problem and they don't understand, this is what I think it is, right? I believe it's like this. I think when you first get on a platform or a social thing, and you have no algorithm, right? And so it gives you TikTok's algorithm, right? It's like, here's the default one. And what's the default? So what I do is this is what I do. I find people that I like and I follow them, and that changes your algorithm, and you see less of that garbage. But it is TikTok.
I have tight shots of JJ's and women breastfeeding in public.
Yep.
Listen, first of all, to me, breastfeeding is natural thing to me. I come from a different world. That's not a big deal to me. Like you breastfeeding in public. Yes, you should.
Baby gotta eat. I don't care.
Yeah, I think it's weird that women in America don't breastfeed. Like they don't want you to breastfeed. They think, oh my God, don't do it. No. Yeah, that's why you produce milk, right? That's why it only happens when you're pregnant. That's a natural thing. I don't look at it as a sexual thing. First of all, I'm not I don't find it too sexual if I gotta share a boob with a child. That's his or hers for now, right?
Yeah, America's like that
But it's,
because of the pilgrims and the Quakers and the people who were here earlier, and that made like that stuff so taboo, right? And as time went, the 1900s, that like there were bathing suit police in the early 1900s. Like if women they couldn't wear the one piece, the chick got arrested for advertising with a one piece. Or
yeah.
or like girls had like the fringes at the bottom skirt instead of like a bathing suit. It
Mm.
was the fringes so you don't see a lot of shape. And if the skirt was 3 inches, more than 3 inches past the knee, they got cited and ticketed by police. There's photos of police literally like checking the length of women's bathing suit. That's
Great.
America's fact. So, and while the French are butt naked with hair just everywhere, right?
Yeah,
Same
right.
time frame. So you get to now, and you got women can't even expose their breast because the police are stopping them and they can't do it.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, like, I guess not so funny, but the stuff that really angers me is the women that's actually breastfeeding and they're just like, is anybody gonna say anything? Oh my god, say something. I'm breastfeeding.
Yeah.
Like they're looking for attention. I'm like, girl, just give the kids some milk.
Yeah.
Like one girl was looking around, took the baby's mouth, all you see is nipple. So to me, that's not even breast, that's titty. When you see the nipple, it's titty. So
to you, but some people are like,
no, but yeah, but and then she goes to the pool.
It's like this.
Dude, you're a fool, man. I hope you guys are watching this, dude. She went to a public pool, right? Which there's kids around, but kids don't see it that way. So that's nothing. But
yeah,
there's a guy in room 253, which is it 253 Dahmer or 252? But there's a guy in 252, right? In that area watching the pool going, oh my God, right? Like, I just can't stand those women that are looking for somebody to argue with them for a goddamn video. I just want a guy to go up to him and be like, oh, that is beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, not every dude is a perv like that because that should be a natural thing. It's because we take it away. We make it seem like this is what I said about the whole formula thing. How the hell are we looking for formula? If you're pregnant, you should be able to produce milk. Why aren't you giving the kid some breast milk? The kid will survive. That's what that's for. Breastfeed. I think it's beautiful.
And
Do
they can
it
breastfeed
in public.
5 years. A woman will keep breastfeeding as long as supply demand.
Do it. That's one problem. That's one problem I always have in this country is like
that's free food.
Breastfeed.
Feed yourself. Feed the baby.
Yeah, and the second one before we leave, why don't we have a diaper station in the men's bathroom to change the baby? As if like fathers don't do this. We got to stop that. I've been to a few bathrooms. There's no station.
There's family rooms though. They have family rooms now.
Now where I am.
Well, at certain newer places have both. And then the reason I think behind that is because on average, it's usually women. It's still way more women that go in the bathroom.
But do you see my point though? I'm a dad.
Here's the
I'm
other thing.
taking my son out for a good weekend.
Yep.
Hello.
You know on a dad for the dads too. It's like, hey, you go to a restaurant and you can't take the baby to the bathroom. Mom's got to do it because the guy's bathroom doesn't have one. So the guy's like, well, sorry.
So you're saying that mom shouldn't complain? Like they got us used to be doing this?
No,
I think there's a lot. Yeah, but I'm just saying though, like I don't know. I've always thought that was weird, man. When I came to this country, I was like, how come, they don't have that in men's room? Like I was going out everywhere with my son, and I can't change his diaper. I gotta like that is so weird to me. But anyways, breastfeed. I just don't like the women that are doing it for attention. I think it's stupid. The ones that are looking for conversation. That is so stupid. Just feed the kid, man, and then call it a day, man. That's it. It's not a big deal. It's just boobs. Oh my God, it's boobs. Yeah, it's just boobs, man. You know what? Expose yourself. Who cares? But anyways, man. Hey, man. Listen, I'm gonna stream on CV Tech One channel, man. I got some stuff that I was gonna stream on there. I'm gonna stream some video games. It's gonna be Forza because right now there's a big race. Oh, Forza Horizon, man. But 4. I have to download old stuff because it's got a track that's only in Australia, and there's a big race this Sunday, and it's 161 laps. and it is amazing. And it's V8 supercars. It ain't NASA. Okay. They driving kangaroos in the way. Dude, it is nuts. So I'm ready for
Really?
it
I have to look
Sunday.
into it.
Oh my God. You got to watch it Sunday. So I'm gonna attempt to do 50 laps. And these guys do 160.
Right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
because
gonna
there's
attempt
there's
50 laps.
there's in Forza, there's one of those maps that have like it's called the Gladiator, Gargantuan, something like that. And that's the race. It's like multiple laps. I think it's like it might be the 51 or it's like 30. I don't know, but it's a lot. And
Yeah. I'm gonna
the car
attempt
is
it, man.
damaged. I couldn't finish it.
I'm gonna attempt it. I started in real life. The fastest lap was 2:03 point blah 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 blah, which is very fast.
2
When I
hours?
did it, no, 2 minutes.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the first lap. So when I tried to beat that record in the video game. The first time I tried it, my best was 3:30. Listen, it's my first time playing the game. I don't know the track.
Yeah.
But after I got, a couple of races under my belt, I got it down to 2:26.
So do you have
So
a car too?
I got better. Yes. Same car that they use. Everything, dude. It's fun, man. It's called Bathurst 1000. It is like I'm not into racing at all, especially like NASCAR or just left turns. No, this is different, man. Every turn has a name. So it is amazing, man. So and I'm doing a lot of reaction videos on Australia. So I'm so into it because it's different. And they're using V8 supercars. Like these things just fly. And yeah, man. So and I got a couple of guys that's out there, dude. They've been sending me videos. They're there camping for the next 3 days. It is raining, but dude, like I just want to be there. Like when he sent me these videos, I'm like, I want to be there. The sound, the partying, the rain, nothing stops them, man. They're just having a good time. I'm like, you know what? I need that, man. So
That's awesome.
I know you, Marvin. You guys talked about a few trips here and there. Like, no, years you want to do some. Listen, man, I'm going to Australia to watch AFL game next year. I'm letting you know right now.
That's what's up.
90,000 people packed in the stadium. I want to be there. I'm gonna do that next year. God will, knock on wood. It's one of my plans. I'm ready to go. But the season is over. So next year, I'm gonna take a flight to Australia, watch a game live. I don't want to go watch the Patriots live. I went there, I found it boring. But on TV, I love it. I don't know what it is with football. I can't do it.
There's a lot of football is different live than it is. It's like hike, throw the ball, all right, dead ball. Let's go talk about it for 10 minutes.
And then I'm like, wait, who caught that? I can't see.
Exactly.
I'm like, how many yards was that?
You find yourself looking at the big screen more than the actual. Like, what? I could have watched this for free.
Yeah, and that's all.
The atmosphere is good though, but I get you.
It is, but what I didn't like, I'm like, I saw a bunch of people not even paying attention while Tom Brady's throwing the ball. I was like, why are you on the phone? This lady was throwing up. This one don't even care. I was just like,
yep.
And then when they score, everybody gets up. Everybody else. I was like, bro, you were just on your phone. You don't even know who just scored.
You
don't have a clue. I was just like, you know what? Let me stay home. And then 2-hour traffic. And I was like, you know what?
Yeah, I always leave early. I don't. And I'm like, please let it be a blowout so we can leave because it's close. I don't.
All right, man. Anyways, man. Yeah. So check me out on CV Tech 1 YouTube channel. Gio, he's got a Twitch. Check him out. It's on the bottom of the screen right there. CV Geo Genius 3 on Twitch. Also, CV Geo Genius 3 on YouTube. I don't know how much he uses it, but I think he should. He should do more videos, just for fun. He's got the time. Why not? So maybe we'll do it, and we'll try to get a reaction going too. I know we keep saying it, but I think the main goal is to keep this going every week, and we're not trying to not do it. It's just life, it's life, and some people understand, some won't, but we have to keep it consistent, and we haven't done it, but we're going to try our best, and we do. So it's just life happens, and I can't fight it. It's just it is what it is. So anything you want to say, Gio?
No, man. Next time, next week, let's do it. I think we did a lot today. An hour and a half is a good amount of time. Hope everybody enjoyed it. That's really it. Till next time.
All right, man. All right, bro. I appreciate you, man. We'll see you guys próximo semana. Look that up. Talk to your Google. You're right, man. That's Tony all day, bro.